Hey, what's up? It is the Smoke Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. This is episode 3, and you know what? The next couple weeks are going to be a couple of fun shows because the Super Bowl's coming up, and if you're like, well, us, chances are you're probably doing something at your house, and what better way than to talk about some things that you can do at home and are easy at home. And here's the thing. It may sound complicated, but that's why we got this guy in. Who is this guy? He is Dave Hubbard. Of course, he is a chef. He is also a butcher. He owns the butchery out on Orchard Lake Road in Sylvan Lake. My buddy Mike Ivesel on the far side. He and I have been eating like pigs for 30 years now. I still like Mike and I up against just about any other two people out there. I just do, and maybe Dave can agree with that. But
yeah, I would
boys,
agree.
The next couple weeks are going to be fun because it's basically the way that it's Super Bowl fare, right? Easy things to do at home.
That's right. Tailgate food and food that's fun to eat all day long, right? Things you can snack on, pick on, enjoy while you're watching the pregame festivities. I don't know if you like to do that or not, but or exactly. No. I know you and Joy talked about it before on your show, where you were talking about how Sean was like, I don't do that thing. All this waste of time. I'm the same way. Like, and I don't like the big parties either. Like, just kind of get to it. Let me cook. Let me hang out with the family, have some food. Maybe a couple people come over. I want to watch the game.
Absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely. Think, well, the beauty about the Super Bowl is that 2-week layoff. It gives you plenty of time to experiment, to test some things out, think about it, make up a menu. I know I have my buddy Steve over, and we just, for 2 weeks, we're talking about what's going to be on that menu. We put it together, and then again, not too big of a fare because we want to watch the game.
Well, one of the things that we're doing in regards to preparation, and we're going to practice what we preach, you'll see a short video of us, and I hope Dave's wife is okay with it, but Dave is going to come over my house next Tuesday, and we're going to have a trial run on a bunch of wings that we're going to make. A few different varieties of wings, but Dave, Mike, and I are going to come over to my place, and we're going to do some wings. Save that thought. Make sure that you remember that. We're going to show you how to do wings and a very secret ingredient that maybe you never thought of that helps make wings better. We'll get into that next week. But this week, of course, Dave, it's ribs.
It's ribs. Not only pork, but beef. But the real star is pork. And we did them quite a few different ways. We wanted to make sure we took care of Mike with some gluten-free barbecue this week.
Cool and stuff. Art, let's not forget Art.
Oh yeah, Art likes that. Art has the gluten issues, and so we did 4 different kinds of pork ribs, 4 different styles. So I'll start with those, and then we'll work our way to the beef
Dave,
rib situation.
Can I just do we want to jump right into the ribs, or do we want to answer some Twitter questions from last week?
Sean, are you hungry? Oh, that's not a good question. I know the answer to that. All right, how about we go ahead. Start talking, and I'll start opening up some of these ribs.
Okay.
Ask me questions, I'll answer the questions. I know we had some Twitter questions,
yes,
right?
Yes, we had some Twitter questions. The first one that came in was a little bit more of an explanation of exactly what sous vide is and how they could do it at home.
So sous vide is pretty much you're cooking in a water bath. So we want to, and you're cooking to an exact temperature, right? So there's some St. Louis ribs for you, Sean. And Mike, I'll get you some too. So the sous vide.
No, Mike, keep talking, Mike.
The sous vide is cooking to an exact temperature and getting your meat all the way throughout that temperature inside temperature-controlled water with a little circulation heater in there, if you will.
Yeah.
You can buy a sous vide, Target, Walmart, online. You can get them anywhere from $30 to $120, $150, even up to $200. The one I have is a basic $100 model. You put it in a tub. You can put it in a pot, a large pot at home. Yep. Fill it with water. Let it heat up to the temperature. It's kind of really, really simple for you, right? You just set it and forget it almost. Push the button to the time and the temperature. You can Google. You can look up all these different recipes and it kind of walk you through it. But for example, we have some sous vide rib tips. So we took the rib tip off the top of that rib and we put it in that sous vide, that water bath that cooked them to 155 degrees for 24 hours. So it gets them to that temperature, nice and perfect. And then we pull them out and then we make them, jazz them up with some sauce.
And a couple notes on that sous vide is that, as we mentioned on the steak show, it really makes the getting your temp right almost a no-brainer because you have that sous vide set we had it at 129. We just slightly seared it, and those steaks were a perfect 135 with about 5 minutes on the grill.
Yeah, so temperature-wise, there's a couple questions about temperatures. You can cook your steak in the sous vide to rare like we like it, so that we know when we're going to sear it hard or get that crust on the outside, we can create, we have a little variance there for a little bit of temperature, right? So we did them right here in the studio and had no issue, and they were nice, rare, medium rare steaks. You can cook them in, like I was saying, in the water bath to a higher temperature, right? So you get them up to medium, or if you're crazy, medium well, and then, reverse sear on your grill and then go from there. But yeah.
And I apologize. I don't know if I missed this when you said it, but it was something my wife, Christy, hi Christy, that brought up when I got home. She's like, so you just take a steak and you throw it in the water? And no. I said, we vacuum sealed it. And not only did you vacuum seal it, Dave, you put some stuff in there. What did you do?
Right. So we vacuum seal it. You don't necessarily have to vacuum seal it. That's another question. So you don't have to have a vacuum sealer at home. That's an expense you don't necessarily have to take on. And again, vacuum sealer anywhere from $100 to $300-$400. I mean, even thousands if you really get a big one. But for all intent and purposes, you can use a Ziploc bag and use the water inside the tub or the pot to displace the air inside the bag as you're dipping it into the water, right? And then seal it, and then let it come to the temperature and cook in your sous vide. So you don't necessarily have to have a sealer or a vac, so you can do that with a Ziploc bag.
Perfect.
Right?
I think people have a better idea now. The next question came in. We talked a lot about wet age. Sean, that 45-day wet age.
271 days.
My God, the best steak we've ever had.
It's the best.
But the questions didn't come in on that. It came in on the dry aging process.
Right. So dry aging is where we're going into, like I said, we were talking about the temperature control. Same kind of thing, right? Wet age, dry age. But the dry age is 32 to 36 degrees. We're in a room that has a small fan that's kind of circulating that air to make sure that we're controlling the temperature and keeping it at that controlled temperature all the way around, pulling all that moisture out of the meat. There's probably Himalayan salt or some kind of big salt blocks in this room to help pull that moisture, right? Because salt pulls moisture out of the meat, and that's kind of what we're doing. So you're pulling all the moisture out of the meat. We're softening up the meat in that process, which it becomes a dry age, and it gets all funky and all that on the outside. We trim it. You've seen, we've done videos on YouTube. Check out Sean on Sports, and we trim them all off of there, right? And then we can take that steak that's nice and velvety and soft and just rock and roll with it.
I gotta say, sorry, that back to that video that we did of it. They gotta check it out because I think I said it kind of looks like roadkill when you first bring it out. It's all nasty looking. The beauty when he trimmed that, how beautiful was that steak, Sean?
And you take that tool, Dave, and you kind of grind the top of it and everything to kind of refine it. Like once you cut it, when you get it on the butcher's block, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the dry aged meat.
Yes.
I got lost there. Joy came in and I got lost for a second. I'm sorry. So yeah. We on the bone-in pieces of meat that we dry age, we use the bandsaw to kind of cut around and get that off, and then trim off all that funky stuff on the outside, which I tell you is a little crazy. But so I'm going to tell the first thing I'm going to tell you about today. We're going to skip the ribs real quick because Joik walked in. We always do something special for Joik because he's our favorite, and so we made some vegan or vegetarian Korean barbecue roasted vegetables with some quinoa. I threw that together. But we'll have something real special for Joik at the Q on the 20th. When we do some seitan or something like that in a barbecue style.
They always say, Joik, how can you not eat the food that they bring on the show? You must have a lot of willpower. That's what my sister said.
Yeah.
A lot of discipline. It is so hard to smell this all the way out there and come in and then not touch it. I think I have some type of Beyond Burger in here, something like just something. And he brought me some vegetables that are really good though.
So I'll get you. So maybe for the chicken wing show, we'll get you some kind of vegetarian option on the meat end. Maybe more of a meaty option, if you will.
Please.
Nothing but credit for
They
being able to pass it up.
They come here and they tease me all the time.
We give you something, right?
Hey, Joik, would you like some?
Yeah.
Joik, look at me. I'm a rib. You miss me?
While I was recapping some of those questions from the last show and talking about sous vide and stuff like that, Sean, you and Mike had the St. Louis ribs that we smoked. I smoked those bad boys at about 235, 240 for about 4 hours. Okay. And then I took them out, wrapped them in foil, add a little bit of butter and a little more of the dry seasoning, the barbecue seasoning, and then I put a little bit of honey. Foil, threw them in the oven for about an hour, just to kind of soften up that butter and melt it in there. What do they taste like?
The honey, to me, like really, it's such an addition, and it comes out really powerfully, Dave. It really does. The honey.
It must be good.
Now you know this. Everybody's got their own thing. Mike is a St. Louis guy. I am a baby back guy.
Me too.
But as light as you made those things, and I'm serious, as light as you made those things, I'd have no problem destroying that rack. If you know, hey, you want to eat baby backs? No, you know what? I'll stick with the St. Louis. It was very tender. It was the way that I want it to be. And again, one of the things that he and I have talked about forever. If you want fall off the bone ribs, I'm not interested in that. I want a little pull. I want a little tug. If I want that really soft meat, I'm going to throw a pulled pork in, Mike. Absolutely.
Hey,
Yep, absolutely.
so I gave Joik a little bit of this smoky mango barbecue sauce that I make. What do you think about that, Joik? You guys try it on your barbecue.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Try it on these baby back ribs.
The texture of it reminds me of like baby food. It just comes right out.
Nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth.
That's right.
Nice
that
and like a
makes it-
baby's bottom. Nice and
Oh
smooth.
my goodness.
Dave, that makes you what, 4 for 4 on like the sauces and stuff with Joik.
Yeah, sausage. Joik likes the sauces, but you know we gotta jazz up that tofu and that stuff. So sauces is where it's at. We'll try to figure out some vegan meat options or meatless options. We'll get there.
You know what? And you know, I do the process. I do the processed vegan stuff. So if you can bring some Beyond Meat in here, I got some. I'll bring it in.
Okay.
I'll bring it in.
And I'm not afraid to go vegan. I'll try it, whatever you have.
And Sean, how do you like those baby backs?
So that's
Sounds
what
good.
that's what you just gave us as the baby back.
Yeah. So you got the baby backs, which I smoked. Did I finish the Saints? We finished those. So the babies, I smoked these at 240 degrees in the Traeger for 3 hours, and then I flipped them over and smoked them for another 3 hours at that same 250. I just flipped them over so that they get a nice crust on both sides.
I'm not just saying this. I've said this to him before. When I do ribs now, I go to his place, period, end of story. It's a lot like what we were talking about with the steaks, okay? No disrespect to the local grocery chain. I'm not going to go get the quality steak that I'm going to get from a butcher. And his ribs, and if my kids are watching, Dave, you know they agree. Your ribs, the baby backs are so... I bought 3 racks last week when I was there from your wife, and unfortunately Julie, my Traeger, went on the DL, so that's part of the reason why they're coming over next week, so we can use the Masterbuilt. I had to put them in the freezer because it's like I got to do this.
These have a really nice smoke ring on them too. I mean, they got a nice smoke. The babies there did. Did you say Masterbuilt? What did you want to tell everybody what we did this
Real
week?
quick, can I let everyone know that there's going to be a very nice video coming out of these ribs on the Traeger. That's pretty cool. It'll be on Dave's TikTok, and it'll be on the Smoke Show WSN. And I think anyone that's a foodie is going to really like it.
So, Sean, what did we do this week?
Well,
We took our first official Smoke Show road trip to...
my Traeger went on the DL. He's week to week right now. I think he's going to be back by the time the first week of March rolls around. So I said, there is no way in Hades I'm living without a smoker for the next month. It's just not happening. So I know my buddy Mike has a Masterbuilt. And I said, Mike, I've been thinking about getting a second smoker anyway. I don't want to get a monstrosity because I already have the big Traeger. Let's go find ourselves a quality Masterbuilt. And we went and found ourselves a quality Masterbuilt at a quality price.
That's right.
And which is unbelievable. The Traeger's on the DL, and you got this Masterbuilt at such a great price because he's playing with an injury, right?
I like that. But
It's got a few scars on it, let's say.
that's okay. The floor models are good. So I got a couple other pork barbecue options, rib options. Like I said, we had the 24-hour sous-vide rib tips, and then country-style ribs that I did. Country-style pork ribs that I roasted in the oven, and then I pulled them out, tossed them in a mustard barbecue sauce that I made, and then put them back in the oven and let them kind of finish up, and kind of soften up.
What's a country style rib, Dave?
Country style rib is just like a hunk from the shoulder or the pork butt. You know, right up there, that Boston butt on the shoulder of the pig. So instead of cooking it for 18 hours, we cut it into like a hunk, a steak or a rib, if you will. And so you take that and you can cook it. And I got to tell you, it's nice flavor. The burst in there. Where's your plates? Let me give you. I'll serve up some of that.
Well,
you guys can
well,
dig
you're
into here.
serving us. Do you want to answer another question from last week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's see which one. The real quick one would be, how long do you let that steak set before you put it on the grill, Dave?
I pull my steaks out of the fridge or the cooler and I let them sit for a good 15, 20 minutes. I want it to come up to room temperature before I cook it because I don't want to scare the meat. I know it sounds crazy. If you don't have a dry aged piece of meat, that moisture that's in there, when you throw it on a hot grill, that moisture gone. It's going to run away, right? So all that water is going to leach out, or that moisture in there. So you don't want to do that. So you bring it to room temperature so that it kind of softens, and then you put it on the grill. It'll take a sear much better. It'll take your seasoning a lot better, and then it'll give you a much more consistent temperature. So a good 15, 20 minutes on your counter.
Now the business one. What are the price ranges on these steaks?
The price ranges on those steaks we had last week, those are some bad boys. We did some, we did the Snake River Farms Tomahawk, black or gold. I think it was gold. Those run anywhere from $60 to $70 a pound. You know, and you're looking at that was a 3.5, 4 pound steak, so it gets up there. Car payment or two. Well, it's a car payment for you. I don't know what you're driving. I'm sure it's something real nice out there. But anyway, the dry aged steaks, they're dry aged New York or ribeye. You're running in the 30s, low 30s, high 20s dollars a pound. And prime steaks, it's a commodity, right? Meat is a commodity, so it depends. They kind of fluctuate. Prime time, summertime, when everybody's grilling, prime USA prime steaks are going to be a little bit higher. They're going to be in the mid 20s, just because that's what it is for a New York or a ribeye. A fillets are almost $50 a pound. But you're looking at wet and dry aged meat. This stuff is the best of the best. USA prime, top 2, 3, 4%.
So the prices can kind of fluctuate at times, kind of like betting lines, right, Adam?
Totally. It all depends. Yeah, 100%. But they do.
Dave,
fluctuate.
I am not a sauce guy. I'm just not. I mean, I've always been of the opinion, if you do your meat right, it speaks for itself. I can put that Memphis rub on there and let that go, and you got the seasonings and you do what you need to do. But Dave, I'm going to tell you what, the combo of the smoke and this mango, this smoky mango is it's spot on, man. It's spot
I took
on.
a bunch of like mango vinegar and reduced it down, and then added some mangoes and then kind of pureed them, and then the basic, brown sugar and some ketchup and some, other good stuff. A little bit of Worcestershire. You can't have it, Mike. But we have some, which leads me to the last one here, the Sous-Vide Rib tips. So we put those in that water bath for 24 hours, and we pulled them out. And for Art and Mike, we did a gluten-free barbecue sauce. It's got a little kick to it. This is a hot one, so I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll put a little bit on your plate. Why don't you come on over here, Art, and I'll put some on a plate for you.
Dave, I got to add, though, that to a testament to how much I love your cooking, I just tried those country style. I had to, so I might have to stop for a little Pepto or something on the way home, but that gluten will get to me.
How you doing, buddy? You all right? You guys all right?
What up, what
you
up?
guys want a little something? Look at this.
A little something? Here you go, grab a plate, boss.
Well, all right, let's tell the boss man what we're giving him.
We have some sous vide rib tips there, but I also have some baby backs.
Yeah,
You
give 'em
probably
some
want some
baby
baby backs or
backs.
some
Hold
St.
on,
Louis style ribs.
Come around here. Take that first bite. Take that first bite on the camera. We're gonna get that real reaction.
Yeah, get in
We're gonna
there.
get that real reaction.
I got some mango barbecue sauce if you like
then
that.
Dave, make
but-
sure he's got some
Look
baby
right here.
backs and some St.
Yeah, this
Louis
one's
too.
a little bit of sweet. That one's got a little bit of sweet to it. Yeah, this here has got a little bit of heat.
Okay, here, give it to me.
I like a little bit of sweet.
Like,
So that's what it is.
Thank
I'm
you.
from Mississippi.
you from
I'm
Mississippi?
telling y'all,
You from Mississippi?
it's some good barbecue.
There we go.
yeah.
My man. I love it.
Good barbecue.
Hey,
Then I got
what
some.
did I tell you, Joy? They know their barbecue down Mississippi. I learned some crap down in Oxford like you wouldn't believe.
Fact.
Got a little bit of
The
pork
Grove,
country ribs.
baby, all
Give me
day.
another piece of rib tip.
Oh, here we go. I'll get in there.
Oh, Dave, and that's not too much heat. That's perfect. That heat is perfect.
So you guys know who's trying out your food right now?
Nope.
Right there.
A friend of the show, I know that.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
You want me to introduce you? You want to? Huh?
He's eating that barbecue. You
Hey,
guys.
that barbecue. But first, how is it though?
That barbecue good.
It's good. Anyway, And so we had a couple guys come in town. We had is Never coming out too? Oh, you right there.
Never no prize today in there. He likes to be quiet. He's more quiet than Johnny.
That rib tip's where it's at, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's 24 hour sous vide, and then we put with some little hot barbecue sauce on there. Good stuff.
Welcome
Good
to
stuff.
the smoke show, baby.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
all friends now. I mean, just like that, we're all friends, man.
Barbecue is friends.
We're united.
We say it all the time.
I got some St. Louis style ribs here too, if you want to try those.
While you're chopping them up, you want another question, Dave?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one's
yeah, shoot
real.
'em, Mike.
This one's real easy. Someone got a hold of us wondering if there's a such thing as the butchery
We're gonna get
shirts.
to that place real quick.
We have some swag over at the store you can get anytime. Yeah, you can come and get. We got a bunch of fun butchery T-shirts and hats and stuff like that, hoodies, whatnot. Hey guys, yeah, here we got plenty. What do you
What's
want me
up,
to?
fellas? How
I'll throw
y'all
some stuff together. How you
Welcome to
doing?
the smoke show.
Appreciate you.
Eat up, boys.
Yeah.
Eat up.
I'm about to
gotta
introduce
eat.
everybody real quick.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, not
Who you
only
got?
eat up, but let us know.
I want to hear.
All right, we got Jonathan Abram right here on the far left.
What's up?
Yep,
You
we
like
got-
that barbecue getting in the
we got
bones there?
Keyshawn Nixon right here.
Oh,
What's
We got-
up, man?
We got my boy Nevin Lawson right here.
What's up,
Yeah,
Nevin?
man.
You all
All
right?
How
DBs
you
for
doing?
the Raiders.
oh yeah.
They all in town for business.
Nice, nice.
Taking care of some business while they out here. All right. And so,
Welcome to Detroit,
hey,
guys.
you clicked the plate, didn't you?
Yeah, get some of them rib
It
tips.
must be
Get some of
good.
them rib tips.
He'd have a blast at the house. I'm
telling you, we do this-
watching my boy eat here. He'd
Yeah.
He'd have
This right
he'd
here.
have a
This
blast.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
earlier in the show, earlier in the show,
You wanna
Sean
help us
said.
cook?
Earlier in the show, Sean said, "I don't think too many people can match me eating." I think we got some guys that can match you eating there, Sean.
Oh, put on the show.
100%.
I took them to my hometown yesterday and I was telling them we kill hogs all the time and
Oh,
we
yeah.
put them right on the grill.
Oh, the whole hog. Oh yeah, whole hog barbecue. That's
You
a
know
ton.
what? We did
Probably
American
learned
style.
something from him.
Get
For
some
real,
of
we
those
did
things
that
in
at
there.
my house in October. We had.
I showed Joik the pig the other day.
We have a
St. Louis style rib. Get in there. Take 'em all.
Those are good, man. And we cook a bunch of hogs falling off the
Oh, so you
That's where
guys,
it's at.
so
I smoked those
you're
bad boys
actually-
on a
you guys
Traeger
know
grill.
what it is.
About
And
8
you
hours.
say it's good. It's
There you
good.
go.
He's pulling up the phone.
I got some
Okay,
mango
now-
barbecue sauce
Now
that I
you're
made.
getting- now we're getting some
And then I got some
pictures.
muscle
Y'all know how
barbecue
hard
if you
it
like
is to
that.
get
That
what it
mango
is.
be nice on there. A little bit of sweet.
So
Yep.
basically, this is impromptu, but this is what happens Wednesday around Woodward Sports is when Dave comes in and we start talking. It's one thing to look, it's another thing to smell. And there's usually 3 or 4 people in this room. Right now, there's about 20 people in this room. And then outside the door, there are a bunch of people lurking. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That's what I'm talking about.
It's all about the queue.
Yeah, it's all about
That's
the
right.
cue.
February 13th.
So yeah, we got.
Oh, no,
my
we got
man
more. We got
Chad's
more. They're
in
just
here.
they're creeping in here slowly
You know
but
it's
surely.
a big day when Chad Johnson's in here. So
Oh my God.
TJ,
That sounds like my barbecue brings all the boys.
TJ, come up here.
There's
I
the
talked
there's the big
barbecue
guy.
with this
right
guy a
there.
little bit.
Let me get around here and get some ribs.
Look at-
We got
Come on, TJ.
TJ, grab. Take that.
We've got
Yeah.
rib
My
tips
guy.
with a little bit of a spicy sauce.
you
We've
know
got
I got Mississippi.
the country ribs with a little bit of sauce that Dave made.
This is third place.
Come on over here, TJ.
There's some beef ribs there.
Come on over
Yep.
here. Chad, that's what I was saying. I learned half of my stuff down in Mississippi, man. When I was in Oxford, I talked to some old school guys in the woods, and I was like, let's go. I mean, that's the way you do it.
So
and I've talked to this guy about it, of course, TJ Lang.
Oh, yeah.
TJ is a griller. If you don't follow him on social media, TJ does it right. He's got the right gear for it. And it's funny, you said it last week. It's easy. If dummies like me can do it, dude.
I'm telling you,
I mean,
we gotta
it's
get TJ
easy,
Lane and Rob Sims together and have it get shot.
right? Did you know that Rob Sims is really big into it? Yeah,
He's
right.
huge.
He's really
he's
big.
huge
Yeah.
into it.
He's huge.
Did you see the size
Hey, Sean, look
Take a
at
look
this.
at
This is a secret weapon today. I brought in the beef ribs. Look at that.
Wow.
So that's the beef rib, the whole beef short rib. I smoked that bad boy for about 7 hours. Let's see how this turns out.
I'm a beef corn.
Cut through like a-
Bring him over here.
Beef kind of.
Look at that. Smell that?
Do I smell
Back to that smell-o-vision. Guys, can you get in on that? That's yours. Take it. I'll trade you.
So Dave,
So we got 8
Yeah,
hours.
put that
8
mango
hours
on there.
smoked on the Traeger.
Put that
and then
mango
we
sauce
pulled it
on
off. Look at that.
Don't worry
boy.
about that.
so we jumped. Dave,
Don't worry about that, sweetheart.
Hey,
There you go. TikTok.
hey, hold on. What I say earlier? Let me borrow $20 to the mall.
Oh my god.
Dave,
Let me get some of the
we
beef
jumped right from pork to beef. You want to tell them like where this is on the cow and what we just did?
Yeah, this short ribs right there underneath the rib that close to that belly of that cow. Look at that.
Give
bad
some
boy.
to this guy.
This thing right here is for TJ.
There you go. There you go,
I
TJ.
know what that was.
Now, you know what TJ
Look
said
at
to me?
that.
He's
Bone right
standing
off.
next to me.
Bone
He
comes
goes,
right off
where
there.
do I get that? Go see him. Go see Dave. That's where you get it from.
This right here is Black Angus. This is Black. Yeah. USDA Prime Black Angus cow.
For a man this
Top 2%.
You know
Good
what that
beef.
is, TJ?
Good stuff right
It
there.
is like
Midwest.
it is the best pot roast you'll eat.
Here,
That's how it
let
tastes.
me get some of this off here. We already got that bone bopped off there.
What kind of wood do you
Joy,
smoke
you want
with?
some of this?
The Traeger.
Come on,
Here,
man.
no,
Don't
he
play
did
with
that
me,
one.
bro.
Look at that bad
Traeger?
boy.
Stop
That
playing
beef
with
rib,
me, bro.
that short rib's out of control.
Was this on the Traeger?
Yeah, short rib was on a Traeger, like I said, about 8 hours, 250. You guys need some more ribs?
So let's not forget our friend up here.
And I also made some beef back ribs. Got some smoked those bad boys for about 12 hours on the Traeger as well. The guys behind me, they want to try some of those beef back ribs there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. There's beef back ribs right there.
It's got a
Wait,
little
I gotta go walk over and show the boss. Those are beef back ribs.
My
There
man.
you go.
Those gummies, those are where we're at. The little piggy gummies.
They taste. I didn't think they'll taste like that.
They're nice. They're nice.
Please teach me.
Tapping out.
My man.
So what is that? 7
Say something
hours
for the
at
road.
what time?
That's about 8 hours at about
hours?
240 to 250,
got you.
and then I
Tie
pull
you
it
up.
out, wrapped it in some
Tie you
foil,
up
and
real
then put it
quick,
back
man.
on for another couple hours, just to soften it up like that. That thing
how
eats
long
like
do you
the best.
rest it? How long
I like
rest?
a couple hours. We rolled over after a couple hours of rest time.
Just
Yeah,
in the foil?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yep.
Dave, let me get it. Did Sean, Dave, did you hear what TJ said? He says, "Teach me."
Yeah, no,
Teach
that's
me.
that's,
And is that not the moment we live for? Is to present
that's what
something
we
to
all
people?
do. Honestly,
That's what we did for Dave, and this is what we can put out now.
I gotta come see you guys. I'm not far from Kego.
You're not far at all.
Pop
We're,
in,
Sylvan, yeah,
anytime.
right there. You want to try some of
Anytime.
that barbecue sauce? We got some of that smoky mango, or we got some mustard here.
You guys make your own?
Yeah. Did you try this baby back rib yet?
now one of the
This is
things
my
that we've
favorite.
talked about, I mean, seriously, like TJ, I've watched his work on social media. He's going to downplay it, but I've seen him do some good stuff. You always pick up something from other people. I mean, that's the beauty of, I guess, being in this community. And it's safe to say, we were kind of talking about it behind the scenes. Dave wasn't familiar with the smoker, so we were able to show Dave some things, including something that's worked for me. And TJ, I don't know if you've done this. When I get myself a good brisket, when I get myself a good pulled pork, I wrap it in a towel, I set it in a cooler, and just let it sit there for hours. It's gonna retain heat. The juice is going to be in there, and it's funny because Dave here, he's the master. There's no doubt about it. The only reason we're here is quite frankly because of him. Dave tried that and fell in love with it. That was like, oh my gosh, I can't not do this again.
It made it really simple, right?
Yeah.
No different than that. The electric smoker makes it pretty simple for us with that Traeger. It adds a different flavor, right? That wood fire kind of pellet thing going on. But who knows? Maybe we'll move up to something different one day. But those are working out pretty well for us right now.
Did I hear you? So TJ, you put it up on social media. What you do?
I
so
try a little bit.
I've seen him do
So
some
I've got
stuff.
someone I got to follow.
Only the ones I'm proud of, which
All
are
right.
about half at this point.
You're gonna
So-
miss. I know that you know, dude. You're gonna miss.
So what kind of equipment are you using?
I got the pellet grill, the Gorilla Grill.
Oh, nice. You
we've
got
been
it.
talking
You
about
got the
that.
big boy.
I've got the Silverback, I think.
That's
it is.
the one- that's the one I wanna
That's
get.
the one we've
That's
been,
the one-
and
I
it's
love that
local
boy.
too.
Grand Rapids.
Yep,
company.
Yep.
absolutely.
So I got in touch with them probably 2 years ago.
Send them our number.
It's pretty much as soon as I retired. I was like, I need a hobby. And I've done a couple pork shoulders.
Yeah. Fun.
I've only done one brisket, but I think what I like so much about it is that it's very simple to do.
Yeah, totally. Take
It's
your time.
simple to cook. It's hard to get that good, consistent flavor, but it's simple to cook, and that's what I like. Just challenging myself,
Yeah. Take the
Because
time.
even the first brisket I ever did, I mean, a lot of these things I'm watching YouTube videos and whatnot.
Yeah, Mo Kason,
right,
Aaron Franklin.
and
These guys are like badasses. Yeah,
The
totally.
equipment now I mean, the
Makes it pretty
Traeger's,
easy.
the grill.
Yeah.
Right. I remember the first time I bought a smoker. It was like an old-fashioned, put the charcoal
side
wood at the
wood on the
bottom.
side, yeah.
It took me about an hour and a half to try to get my temperature to 250. I threw a rack of ribs on. I went inside. I came back an hour later. The grill was at 900 degrees.
That smoke was probably as dark as this microphone,
The
right?
ribs were charcoal. It was absolutely
totally. Oh my
terrible.
gosh.
So the equipment now, even the pellet grills, the smokers, the electric ones, I was always kind of against electric, but
Yeah.
for me, it's the best way to go with flavor and just consistency. It's
The
awesome.
same. That's exactly how I talk about it all the time with these guys. I don't want to do that. No, this is crazy. Set it and forget it. Kind of enjoy yourself. Have a couple pops, as Mickey would say, and just let the smokers do their thing. Yeah, totally.
I think there's a man factor also of like the old
100%.
school
Oh, yeah.
charcoal wood, maintaining it. But me, I'm a flavor guy. I could care less about man factor when it
You
comes
sound
to
like
food.
Sean.
I
Sean
just
is
want
man
the
factor.
easiest, best flavor,
Yeah,
man.
well, I'm man, I make fire, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
talked
that
about
fun.
that
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
steaks, but this is amazing. We've kind of tried to push this every time whether we were just on YouTube or since we've been here at Woodward Sports, of just what grilling is. And this is what it is, where TJ, you can come in, you don't know us from anybody, and we're just having this great conversation over barbecue.
And food,
This is
yeah.
awesome.
You nailed it, because our first show we talked about brisket, but we talked about it's the camaraderie, it's the hanging out, right? So you got it on the field with the guys, right? And you can't get that back. And as a chef, when I was in the restaurant, being on that hotline and cooking in a busy restaurant, it's the same kind of camaraderie you build with those guys. And even being at the smokehouse, right? It's the same kind of camaraderie you build. It's the same thing that I built with these two guys, is hanging out at Sean's house. We hanging out, we throw a piece of meat on the smoker, kind of babysit it a little bit, if you will, have a couple pops, whatever, enjoy ourselves, have the conversation, then come back, see what's going on in the smoker, and then go from there. But yeah, it's kind of just hanging out and enjoy it.
Smoking a good piece of meat too. I don't think there's anything more satisfying than when you're with a big group of people like you guys are today.
Yeah,
and you
totally.
see everybody just like drooling over what you made.
Oh.
I mean, that's all. I think that might be better than eating it itself.
You're-
watching
oh,
all
you're
the
describing that feeling
Sean
that I got.
says
Yeah,
that all
totally,
the time,
totally.
all the
Incredible.
time.
Love it.
And this will be something we talk about for forever. Is like, do you remember when those guys came on? Dave nailed those ribs. We nailed what we did, and that's what we love to do. And I can't wait to get back to your new Masterbuilt on Tuesday and get back to sitting underneath your deck. Doesn't matter how cold it is. Some
right.
wings on there and
That's
telling
right.
stories, man.
Well, now he's one of us.
It's not a hobby; it's a lifestyle.
No, absolutely.
Bingo, you got it.
Now you're
100%.
one of, you have to come over February 20th. D-Mac and Joyker coming over, so I'll get you if you can make it February 20th, we're doing a Wagyu, we're doing some prime rib, we're doing a shitload of wings, so you're more than welcome
That
to come
brisket
to
that
it.
he's talking about.
a
We
little-
know-
All right,
All right,
that beef rib.
That's awesome, man.
You got to
Great
get
job,
over,
guys.
get over
Thanks,
to the
TJ.
butchery.
Thank
I
you.
just got some
I
from
will, man.
yesterday
I
of
gotta
those.
get over and see you guys.
We'll see you around.
Absolutely,
We'll see you around.
absolutely.
Smoke shows here every Wednesday.
So what is the difference between
Yeah.
like
Come on
that
in.
big dino bone, but just for somebody like me, because I
Yeah.
see it a lot. Sometimes they're beef ribs or beef short, or like what is the exact term?
Okay, I got you both. We
Okay,
got both.
because last time I bought like beef ribs, they were like really thin. Almost
This is-
like that.
Exactly.
right.
This is
And I was
exactly what
looking
happened.
For the big one. What is
right,
the
right.
big
So,
one called?
so beef back ribs or beef ribs, they come off the back of the prime rib, right?
Which is
this little
kind of
guy
the
right here.
slimmer ones, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of work for very little bit of
Right,
meat.
yeah.
It's a week of practice for you're not playing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks. So this they're okay, but you want to go to the granddaddy, and that's
you want the
that was
big
the.
guy.
This is the beef
Yes.
short rib. So
Beef
you want the
short
beef
rib.
short rib.
Okay.
You want the whole plate. So you get the whole
Massive.
3 or 4 bones. You see now we had that big old piece, and then we cut into
Yes.
it, get a nice smoke throughout that
Okay.
thing. And as Sean
short
said,
rib. Gotcha.
beef short rib, the best pot roast flavor smoked meat
it's
takes it.
incredible.
Oh my gosh, wasn't it
That's
nice? That
incredible.
fat in there just melts.
I remember when I got the beef ribs, I thought I was getting the
Short rib?
ribs,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
got home and I was like, "What the hell?"
You're like, wah, wah, wah.
Well,
Yeah, where's
I
the
mean,
meat?
Like
Where's
you
the
said,
meat?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's this big,
Like-
but it's like, oh, it's starving.
TJ,
man.
one of the things
Those
about
short
bones.
ribs are
All
the
one
bones.
of the
way
things
to
about
go.
the beef short ribs when you cook them though is there's no uniform time. Like true ribs are not going to cook the same. One of the ribs you're going to put that thermometer in there and you're going to go, dude, this is 202, and then the one right next to it might be 189. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I found out.
Time,
I
time,
love
time.
them. It's one of my favorite things to do. But it's almost better to separate them and cook them as separate entities as opposed to cooking that whole rack together, because there's no uniform time to it. I mean, at this point in time, we say it all the time. It's about getting it between 201 and 204. Forget about time. Time doesn't exist.
Well, you guys are way more experienced than I am, too. I will say all of my cooks so far are only as good as my meat probe. I've had some really bad meat probes, and I'm like, this thing's got to be done, and you take it off, and it's way overcooked, and I'm just like, dang, I just wasted that whole damn 8 hours, you know. So I've found a couple meat probes. I'm still using them. You guys probably don't have to use them because you've just cooked it.
Listen, no, I was just going to explain.
I mean, I use them. I don't think it's just.
And the steak show,
it's easier for me.
On the steak show, I can eyeball it, no big deal.
Right,
the barbecue, it's way different. I'm with you. We were talking about, and I was going to bring it up, the thermometer. It's not necessarily the thermometer, but where you put it too, right? So on that brisket that I made and brought by for everybody last week, I was like, this thing, I was so excited because I nailed it. I finally nailed a brisket, and it was because I was temping the flat, right? And I was getting the temp way up there, but the point was it was a little off, or I was getting the right temp on one end and not on the other end. So it's learning your equipment too, right? So knowing where that grill, they're all different, right? So each one's going to heat up in a different corner, different element, right? So you have to know your piece of equipment and kind of manipulate your meat as it's cooking. But again, time.
I'm not ashamed to use a meat probe.
100%.
No,
hey, it's good. It's good.
A lot of steaks I can kind of eyeball, kind of give the field test.
Yeah,
so
totally.
The big hunk of meats, I mean, it's
Well, and you know what?
100%,
We kind of found this out.
Yeah, you're like, how do I get
TJ,
it?
we did a 23-pound
jiggle.
Wagyu. I mean, it's not cheap. We'll leave it at that. It was like, I need to get this right. If you're going to invest that much money into it,
you got to get it right.
And you have 30 people coming over, like you said. It's incumbent upon me to get it right. So there's no. I don't feel less than using a meat thermometer. It's all about getting 201, 204. It's all good.
It's got to be precise, right?
That's exactly it.
But thank you for the food, guys.
No, thank you, TJ. Thanks for
TJ.
chatting with us.
Thanks for stopping by.
TJ Lang,
Thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen. TJ Lang.
How did he just fit in? Was that unbelievable?
Well, he knows what he's talking about.
And he likes
that's-
barbecue,
that's
right?
it.
Yeah, and it's barbecue.
He's trying to
This is-
downplay it, but he knows what he's talking about.
How about those other football players coming in here, and those guys? I think they could eat you guys. I think they could eat you.
He tapped out.
They'd beat you guys.
Let's
in
not-
that
Art,
come on.
Come on, Art. You're an MMA guy. When I hear the words,
He tapped out. He's got a
tap
meeting.
out,
He's got a
that
meeting
tells
to go
me that
to.
I
Art,
won.
tell the truth, Art. He's got a meeting to go to.
Yeah, I mean, they tapped out.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank
no!
you.
Hey,
Someone's still eating.
there you go. All right, I'll give you
I
credit,
gotta
Sean.
ask though, that
Uncle
barbecue
Sean.
sauce.
Yeah, which one?
The one, the gluten-free one.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. That was
Old man Kinder.
fantastic.
There's a Kinder's barbecue sauce. It's made by Kinder's, the company, and it was gluten free. And then I just took that and kind of bumped it up with some more, stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much a gluten free barbecue
What I
sauce.
liked about it is that it's the perfect mixture of sweet and spicy. You get some barbecue sauces where they're so sweet that you don't want to eat
like
too much of it. 'cause
candy.
and it kills your stomach. And then you get the ones that are too spicy. That was the perfect combination.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed that.
And I
Good
got
stuff.
a trick for you too, Art. Being of the gluten free.
Yeah, we got to stick together.
Me and my wife will buy a gluten-free sweet barbecue sauce, and we just take the chili paste, a spoonful of chili paste in there, and it's perfect.
Now, is it just you that's gluten-free, or is the wife gluten-free too?
Me and my daughter. My daughter went about 4 years ago, and I said, man, she kind of looks just like me with all the issues.
Yeah.
So me and my daughter, hooking you up with Oreos, baby.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, big shout out to Mike too. I haven't had Oreos in such a long time because for years and years I would eat them and get sick, and he brought me some gluten-free Oreos. So thank you, brother. I appreciate
That's the guy right there. Good stuff, Mike.
All right, did we get it through everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Adam has been diligent, standing there, waiting to get his. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Adam.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Adam. Let's save some for Adam. Let's give Adam a plate. In the meantime, any final thoughts, guys?
No, just what are we gonna do? Some we're
gonna do some wings.
Wings next week. Yeah.
We're going to do wings.
Next week,
We
seriously,
answered
the
questions.
three of us are coming over. Well, they're coming over to my house on Tuesday, and we are going to do some wings, and we're going to try some different things. Again, getting you ready for the Super Bowl. Ribs are easy. You don't even need a smoker to do ribs. I didn't have a smoker forever. You can do a combination, wrap them in foil, put them in the oven, low and slow, and then take care of Joik Bell. And then you can transfer them on the grill for 15 minutes. It's not the method that I want to do, but it works. And I did it for years. And Mike, you've been over my house.
Absolutely.
I think they're pretty damn good doing it that way.
Yeah.
They're better doing it on the smoker.
Well,
no other way to say that.
these smokers, as TJ was saying, I mean, they've kind of dummy-proofed barbecuing for all of us, and they
100%.
made it very easy. We don't have to watch the fire. We set it, and we can set it and forget it, as Dave said. but the kiss of smoke, the flavor, be it the peach, the cherry, the apple, the mesquite, whatever your flavor is unbelievable. It adds just a little bit of something to it.
We're just trying to work it out.
Dave, would you
Bella-
like to introduce somebody to
Yes.
to everybody out there?
This here is my little princess, Daddy's girl. Bella, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hi. She likes to barbecue. She cooks with us. But she said, I told her we're doing the rib show today, and she didn't have to go to school this afternoon. So she said, I'm coming to do the rib show with Dad. So
Awesome.
we brought her in so she could try some ribs with us and meet all these awesome football players.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Wonderful family, and seriously, we're not just saying this. I legitimately am a customer. I bought wood chips today from the real boss Julie, for all your barbecue and eating needs. Come on in, Corey with a K. Corey E. Woods, ladies and
I got
gentlemen.
some beef ribs for you
Make
and some
sure you
St.
check
Louis
out.
style ribs.
Make sure you
Try it,
check
some
out
beef ribs
the
underneath there.
butchery on
if you
Orchard
like some
Lake
barbecue sauce, I got some too.
in Sylvan Lake, Kiko Harbor. Can't miss it. Hey, listen, I say it all the time. Why on earth would you go to a grocery store to get a good piece of meat? You go see a butcher. So for Mike Iversel, for Dave Hubbard, thank you, Art. Thank you,
Adam?
Adam as well.
Yep.
Am I
Oh,
forgetting
yeah.
any thank yous?
All those
Joy
nice
was
guys.
here for a
Yeah,
little
Joy.
bit.
Joy,
He brought some
TJ Lang,
friends.
the
Yep.
Raiders,
Devin Lawson.
on behalf of everybody, we'll see you next week. Wing week.
Thank you, Woodward.